So let's talk about food and muscle growth. So you've been going to the gym often, you've been working very hard, pushing yourself, numbers looking good, training every day, lifting heavy weights, technique's good. You just feel like you're in a good place training wise. You feel like you're strong, you're seeing some shape changes in your body, and you feel like your clothes are fitting better, but you just don't feel like your efforts are being rewarded in terms of the growth. Now, I can vouch for that. About 10 years ago, I probably was 7 kilos lighter than I am now, and I wasn't really getting my food right. If I'm totally honest with you, I wasn't eating the right foods to support me and my gym goals. That was until I started to get coached on my food. I started to understand it better. So in this video, I'm going to explain a few areas that you can focus on to get you more in tune with your food and allow your food to help you gain the muscle that you want, but also perform better in the gym and aid recovery. So if your goal is to gain muscle, we first want to focus on a calorie surplus. We can't really pack on lean muscle mass without a calorie surplus, because if you're going to the gym burning off a significant amount of calories, and you're going to work, and let's say you're working as a bricklayer or joiner or labourer or something like that, and your job's really physical, even if it's not physical, you're still maybe using your brain to focus on making decisions. So the amount of calories that you're going to burn off throughout the course of your work day is significant. So now you've got the gym, you're going to burn off calories. You've got work, you're going to burn off calories. Then you may do some cardio, may go out for a run. So you're going to burn off calories there. So all these factors will dictate how much food you need to consume. How big should your meals be, and what's the proportion of your plate look like. And I'm going to just explain a little bit more about a calorie surplus, because when we're burning off calories, we need to make sure we're putting the calories back in to support us. Okay, without that calorie support, we're not going to get the results that we want. We're not going to see the gains. Let's be honest. You're just going to be working very hard in the gym and feeling like you're in a good rhythm, but you're not going to see the results in terms of the size. Let's focus on the food. So calorie surplus, we need to first work out what our personal needs are. So we first work out our age, height, weight, and how active we are. Okay, we've got those factors. Okay, then what we're going to do is work out our maintenance. Okay, how many calories we need just to maintain our body weight for the day. Once we've worked that out, we're then going to put ourselves into a calorie surplus. We're going to start off with probably about 10%. So let's say, for argument's sake, you're 6 foot tall, 25 years old, male. Your calorie maintenance, let's say you've got a busy active job, your calorie maintenance might be like 3,000 calories per day. That's the amount of calories you need just to maintain. I know it seems like a lot, but that's just what your body needs to maintain. So maintain training performance, maintain its processes within the body. So the organs of the heart, the lungs, the brain, all these big organs need to just be replenished every day with calories and energy to support it. That's not taking into account your muscle mass that you currently have and the muscle mass that you're working very hard in the gym. That needs support as well. Once you've worked that out, your maintenance, you're then going to put yourself into probably about 10% calories surplus. So you may need to then aim for about 3,500 calories per day to just give yourself a chance of gaining muscle. If you're a female, you're probably going to eat significantly less than that due to a slightly lower metabolism, but also females generally have less muscle mass and they generally need less calories because they're generally smaller. So with a female, you're probably going to eat a lot less than that, but you're still going to work up your maintenance and then into your surplus. Now, once you've got that, we're going to look at how many times per day roughly you want to eat. Now, you want to eat to start off with at least 4 meals per day, okay? Because if your work day is 8 hours to 10 hours and you go to the gym in the morning, you're spending a couple of hours at night time maybe doing cardio, or you're doing some activities at home like cooking or cleaning, then your day is going to be about 16 hours with maybe an 8-hour time period to sleep. So you need at least 4 meals to support you throughout the whole day. So you start in the morning, you have your breakfast, and with your food, you're going to look at, number one, starting with a balanced plate. And what I mean by that is, so you've got 3 food groups, macronutrients they call them. I will break this down further in another video, but protein, carbohydrate and fat make up your macronutrients on your plate. So you want a balance of those. Okay, now that's important for, number one, delivery of overall nutrition to your muscles, because your muscles thrive off a good balance of food groups. And also protein needs to be high enough to support muscle growth, because that's the number one macronutrient that supports your muscles and helps you build muscle, essentially. So without enough protein, you're not going to be able to support your muscles. So even if you was eating a lot of calories throughout the day, you was eating, and I've seen people like dirty bulk, and I wouldn't recommend that. So I've seen people like predominantly like fast food to bulk because they're getting the calories in. But the problem with that is it's poor quality calories. You want good quality calories, because with poor quality calories, your body's just going to consume them and then push it straight out, and it's not really going to get absorbed and assimilated and sent off to the body to get utilized and properly into the muscles for muscle growth purposes. So we want to make sure your food quality is good. To start off with, at least 30% protein per meal. And if you, for example, was to put that into some eggs in the morning, that's probably about 3 or 4 eggs, something like that. But you can make up your protein throughout the day through various means, from lean sources such as chicken, whey protein or plant-based protein, Greek yogurt, even beans, lentils, chickpeas, seeds. You can get your variety of proteins from different sources. So I wouldn't just recommend just having like meat or fish. I definitely recommend, especially for health purposes, it's good to have a good balance of meat and plant-based food. So definitely get your sources from a wide variety of different sources. And if you don't know all the options, send me a message. I can give you a guide on how to get your protein, where to get your protein in, and how's the best bits of protein to get from different meals. So send a message, I'll send you a guide to give you some options on protein. Then you need to have at least enough carbohydrates to support your energy. Carbohydrates keep you energized throughout the day. It's your primary fuel source, and predominantly what you're going to be using when you're working out or running or doing exercise. If you're an athlete, you're predominantly going to be using carbohydrate, so you want that as your predominant fuel source. So again, that's going to be at least 40% of your meal. Okay, then you want a little bit of fat on the end of that. So again, good fats. That's what I mean by good fats, not bad fats, good fats. So bad fats would be if you're going to eat a takeaway like McDonald's or something like that, and it's really greasy and it's really poor quality food, it's probably going to be bad fats. So you want to be eating good fats such as avocado, nuts, seeds, olive oil, some cheeses, coconut oil. These are all good fats. Fish, oily fish like salmon and mackerel and sardines, great sources of not only protein but fat as well. Now, once you've got your plate organized, you're just going to do that about 4 times for the whole day. Breakfast, lunch, meal 3, meal 4. So meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, and meal 4, to just simplify it. Okay. Now that's going to keep you satiated throughout the whole day. It's going to fuel your body, and it's going to keep you really energized. But not only that, it's going to give you the calorie surplus that you need to support your muscles and also your metabolism to help you build new muscle tissue. Because if the body sees that it's got just the right amount of calories to maintain its weight, like I said before about maintenance, you're not going to be able to gain new muscle layers and tissue. so you need more. Your body needs extra. It's just like, for example, driving your car. You're not going to drive 300 miles and only put, just 3/4 of a tank in. You're probably going to fill it up all the way to the top and probably a little bit more just to make sure you've got enough for your 300-mile journey. It's the same with the human body. If you're working all day long, going to school, you're training, you're in the gym working, you're very hard. You are doing running, or you're doing high rocks or running marathons. You've got to make sure that you're supporting, number one, your body to do all of that, but then supporting it to then go away and build muscle as well. So also as well, you need to focus on your food nutrients. So make sure you've got some vegetables and fruits in there as well in your meals to give you the nutrients to help you, number one, make sure you're healthy. Your immune system needs to make sure it's functioning well. Because the last thing you want to do is go to the gym often and then get sick all of the time because you're not eating enough good nutrient-dense food. You're not eating enough vegetables, not eating enough fruits. So the vitamins and minerals just aren't there. So again, with your calorie surplus, there's not just your plate you need to look at to take care of, so your macronutrients, but also you need to look at your nutrients as well. Your food's got to be nutrient dense, again, to keep your immune system healthy and maximize recovery as well. Because the last thing you want to do is get in the gym, train very hard, and the next day you get up and you're like really sore, or you're sick, or you can't get out of bed. So you want to make sure that you're, number one, recovering as hard as you can train. All right, so you're training very hard then the day before, you're then getting up next morning, you're springing out of bed, and you're not super sore. But then we want to focus on just consistency. So once we've got our plate organized, and we're doing that 4 times a day, we're then going to be tracking our food. Make sure you do track your food to make sure that you are eating that right amount of food. Again, if you're not sure of how to track your food, send over a message. I can send you some ideas on how to track your food. But essentially, tracking your food is like keeping you accountable of, okay, that's my nutritional goals for the day. I'm going to make sure I'm hitting those goals. And to do that, I've got to track to make sure that it's all organized. Because if you're not tracking, you're just doing intuition tracking. Oh yeah, that looks about that amount, or that looks the amount I need. You're probably going to be way off your numbers. I've been there myself when I felt like I've been hitting 4,000 calories a day, and I track it, and then I'm at 2,900. I'm like, oh my god, I'm way off there. So absolutely, you want to make sure that you're tracking your food. You have there's no grey area. It's black and white. That's the amount you need. That's the amount you're eating, and you're fulfilling that by tracking and making sure it's all organised and all in place. Then once you've done that, you need to then make sure you're just being patient. Okay, muscle growth takes time. Okay, so to build new muscle tissue, it takes at least, I'd say, a good 12 weeks to gain at least a couple of kilos of muscle tissue. So be very patient. Aim for probably about 0.2 per week of muscle growth. So keep an eye on your scales, keep an eye on your photos, and look at how your body will slowly transition from where you're at right now, that slightly slimmer physique, to looking a little bit more bulkier and adding more muscle to your frame. Again, just keep taking regular photos, because when you look at yourselves every day in the mirror, you probably won't be able to see those changes, but a photo can give you a lot of evidence that you are seeing and experiencing gains. Okay, because if you just get on the scales, you may have gained some body fat as well, because that's one thing as well. If you're working towards a calorie surplus, you may gain a little bit of body fat, but that's normal, because as you're gaining, let's say, 2 kilos of muscle mass, if your calorie surplus, your bulk is good and it's accurate, you may gain a portion of that fat. If it's not good, you may gain a lot of fat, which again, I've been there myself before. So make sure that your calorie, make sure that you are gaining weight, and jumping on the scales here and there is important, but make sure you're not using it as complete validation. Okay, so that is a calorie surplus. That's how essentially we gain muscle. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them over anytime. I have been helping people with their calorie surplus and gaining muscle for quite a few years now, and I would say I'm pretty an expert at it. But also myself as well, I've gained a significant amount of muscle mass over the years, and gaining it in areas that I never thought I could gain, like my legs, my back, and other areas that was lacking when I was a lot younger, and I never thought I could get the gains that I wanted, even though I was training very hard 5 days a week. Even some days I was training twice a day, but I wasn't seeing the gains that I wanted. So that was until I executed my calorie surplus. I got some coaching. I got my nutrition and the food that I eat in order. I improved it, even though that was scary at the time, because I had years of eating, for example, Cheerios for breakfast, or cornflakes, or Weetabix for breakfast. These were my staple breakfasts, believe it or not. Back in the day, that's what I'd get up and eat for breakfast, or jam on toast. That was, one of my, staple breakfasts, and I didn't know any otherwise, because that's how I'd been brought up. That's how I'm one of 6 siblings, so having a good breakfast in the morning full of protein, it probably wasn't feasible for my parents. So jam on toast or cornflakes was probably the best option for my mother at the time. So, but again, I've changed since then, and now I'm seeing the gains. But that's the importance of nutrition, guys, for gaining muscle, utilizing a calorie surplus. But if there's any questions, drop them over any time. If you'd like me to work with you one-to-one, then head to my website, take a look at some of my packages, and I've quite a bit of information there as well you can take a look at, working with me one-to-one, and I'll help you to work towards where you want to be. And if you're a bit stuck at the moment, I'll help you figure out a plan and an actionable step guide to get to where you want to be, and I'll give you one-to-one coaching, okay, and from a very personable level. But if you haven't already, please subscribe. It's really important that I build up my channel. I'm really looking forward to growing my channel and providing you guys with really good information that you might find on the internet, but it's all muddled up everywhere. So I want to really get my experience, the people I've helped, and my own journey as well, and package it into many videos to give you the information and support that you need to get to where you want to be. If I had this 10 years ago, then I probably would have not made the mistakes I've made. So I want to give you guys the support that you need. But anyhow, I wish you the best of luck with your muscle gain journey, and stay tuned for my next video. Bye for now.